it's Amanda, and welcome! Okay, so there has been a video going around a lot on BookTube lately where booktubers read the lowest ratings for their top favorite books. A few people that have done this is Rachel from Rachael Marie, Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, Olivia from Books with Winchester, and Merina from Read with Merina Rey. So I will link all of their channels below because I love all of their channels and I loved watching this video that they did. I've had so much fun watching these, so I really wanted to give it a try. And then I was thinking, like, what are my favorite books? And immediately, of course, Harry Potter came to mind. And I was like, why not do the Harry Potter series? And then I thought, not only are there a lot of books in the Harry Potter series, a lot of people have read the Harry Potter books, and there are a lot of negative comments for the Harry Potter books, which happens with anything that's very popular. Usually for something that's really popular, there are an abundance of negative comments, just like there are a whole bunch of positive comments. Because it's something that's loved naturally, it attracts the people. You know, some people read them intending to hate them, and some people read them and just don't like them. Whatever the case, I want to read the comments. So in the interest of not making it too long, we're just gonna do Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and then maybe I will continue doing this for the rest of the books in the Harry Potter series, and I will probably also do it for other favorite books that I have, because I don't only read Harry Potter, mostly. So without further ado, let's get on to reading the negative reviews of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm excited. Oh boy. Here we go. Okay, so this book has 5.5 million reviews. Not surprising. Oh, and its average rating is 4.46, which is really good.
63% are 5 stars, 23% are 4 stars, it has 9% 3 star, 2% 2 star, and 1% 1 star. So
that's not that bad, but it still has almost 88,000 1-star reviews. So let's see. Okay, so ready? We're gonna do 1-star reviews. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is funny. So the first one is from Voldemort, and he said, rated it 1 star, and he said, "This is a disgrace to all purebloods. My head looked quite dashing on that strange professor's head. If only I could have extended my stay. Harry Potter, this is not over yet." Who did that though? Like, who created an account and named it Voldemort and then, come on. This person said, "Taking arms against Harry Potter at this moment is to emulate Hamlet taking arms against a sea of troubles. By opposing the sea, you won't end it. The Harry Potter epiphenomenon will go on, doubtless for some times, as J.R.R. Tolkien did, and then wane." Okay. Oh, this person. Okay. Pathetic. Really pathetic. Harry Potter is more of a Mary Sue than Aragon, more than Nancy Drew, more than the worst fan fiction I've seen. What do they think they're reading? He's rich, popular, and famous for absolutely nothing of his own doing. He destroys the power of the big bad guy before he's a year old. Okay, see, that's not fair because there's a reason, but if you've only read this book, you wouldn't know that reason. But even so, they kind of like, you know, she kind of insinuates that there's a reason. He didn't like battle him. He has the whole angsty passed down pat. Yeah, his parents died and he's an orphan. He instantly becomes the best at flying without ever having done it before, wasting all the older, more experienced flyers. Okay, because his dad was a flyer. That's like a natural athlete. That's like somebody being a natural athlete. That happens, okay? And get this, he fries bad guys with the touch of his skin because the power of his mother's love is so amazing that it protects him. Okay, see, so they do know a little bit. I was like I was thinking that they didn't really know about like the whole love thing. But also, it's not that he fries all bad guys. It's not like if he went up and touched Ted Bundy would die. I mean, gosh, the only Sue-ish habit we aren't subjected to is multi-page rants on his appearance each morning. Or the devoted unicorn of usual powers, of course. But I'm expecting him to show up in the very next book. After all, she has to keep some plot devices for the next one, doesn't she? Can't put all her brilliant twists out at once. Okay, what? You're saying, are you coming at it because you think it's completely unoriginal? I mean, okay, you can say that if you want, but can you find me one book that is 1000% completely original that has no influence from everywhere else and ever? Because like that literally doesn't exist because like we are always influenced by everything that's happening to us at any given moment. But, okay. Don't even get me started on the plot. Epic failure. Nuff said. Oh my gosh. Harry wasn't any excuse for a hero. He did nothing. He sat around and things happened to him. End of story. His fame was inherited. His fortune was inherited. He lived with his relations and allowed them to bully him. You're coming at this 11-year-old boy for allowing his adult family to bully him. What was he supposed to do? His wonderful skills were not worked at and studied for years, but picked up instantly. Ugh. And he bet the bad guys by electrocuting them with his infamous zapper skin. Okay, back with the weird skin thing that you clearly don't understand. I could go on for hours. Please don't. Let's go. This is a dangerous book. Oh my god. This person said, it made me consider both suicide and mass homicide, and it's definitely not suitable for children. Okay, so one, if it made you contemplate suicide, I'm very sorry. In all honesty, I hope that there's somebody that you can talk to, or you can find somebody that you can talk to, and I hope that, I'm very sorry that that's what you got from this, but also mass homicide, I can't. I think if you're serious about this, then of course you should talk to somebody, which people should do anyway, but that sounds terrible. Harry Potter is a Sue. There's another one. Okay, let's go to this one. Awful in every way. The whole book is centered on lame, even deplorable ideas. Oh, gosh. You know, and it's crazy because, like, the first book is, like, really good, but, like, the rest of the series is... Oh, it just brings it all. It's so good. Ah, sorry. Okay. First, it divides people into wizardly and non-wizardly people in a class system. That's a fairly lame idea already. But other than deriding some of the snobby elitist among the wizardly class, it itself is ridiculously elitist, presenting its own non-wizardly people as overblown, idiotic parody of middle-class small-mindedness, conformity, and materialism, and making the elevation into the wizard class an unequivocally good thing. I can see some of the points in there. But not all, I guess not, but not all non-wizardly people. I mean, there's not many non-wizardly people in here, and they make a point in much of the series to talk about protecting the non-wizard people, and that they don't think that they're stupid or ignorant or arrogant. It's not that they think poorly of them. I mean, some wizards do think poorly of them. That's, like, the point of the story. I mean, I guess I can get some of that critique, but I think there's something that you're missing. Outside its center of lameness, the book fails in all its basic storytelling elements. They're complaining that it's written for kids. It's a middle grade book. Oh my. Finally, Quidditch is the stupidest sport ever. Rude. Here we go. These books terrify me. They're badly written. They have a plot that don't make sense. Read Artemis Fowl instead, please. Yeah, because those are the same books and you can compare them to each other. Anybody who tells me they have only read Harry Potter and or the Da Vinci Code scares me even more. I'm not sure where that came from. That statement will keep me away from the books and away from people who read them. Oh my gosh. So you're willing to... That's a little harsh, maybe. Oh, you're a wimp, Harry. Harry is the perfect bland character that the reader can feel at home with. He does not have any talents that anyone would be jealous or threatened by. He's not overly attractive, tall, muscular, athletic, intelligent, blah, 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 blah. In fact, he doesn't have any hobbies or interests to speak of when he first introduced. He's completely and totally average. I think that was part of the point, was that he was like this average character, and then he gets surrounded by these really amazing, very complex and eventually very developed characters, you know, particularly throughout the series. He also develops, but so do the characters that are around him and that support him. He may be the bland focus, but there's a lot of, you know, seasoned vegetables around him, you know? I don't know. This person's complaining that in it she has like childish dreams coming true. Are people just mad that like this has some ideas that happen in other books, like dreams come true, and like people are good at Quidditch? I don't know. Somebody put, so this is the book that everyone loves, with a meme of Belle going like, oh my gosh. This person goes, first they go on this like little rant that they've disliked the Harry Potter movies since it, in the franchise as a whole, since it started. Okay, one, the Harry Potter movies, they're not terrible, but I mean the first two are really good, but the rest, like, they're all right. He's like, people are always coming at him saying, well, you haven't read the book, so you don't know. So he read them. And then he goes on to say that his main problem is that he can't suspend his disbelief about the world. He says that the world is nonsense. Yeah, the world is nonsense. Yeah, the world doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not realistic. You're right. I agree with you. And that's kind of one of the reasons I love it. If you're not into fantasy, if you don't believe in the world, like if you don't want that, then don't read it. Like, did somebody read Twilight and go, vampires aren't real, so this book is dumb? No. They realized there was a lot of other terrible things about the book, and that's why they didn't like it. I mean, I can understand not liking a world, but like, if it's that, it's disbelievable. Harry Potter is like 50 Shades of Grey in the following ways. Okay, the hype about the books is what sold the books. False. That is not true, okay? The Harry Potter books, when they hit the shelves, they were an immediate hit. This series, whether you like it or not, like, there are literally millions and millions of people that love these books because they are good. They picked up the book because they heard it was good and they read it and they liked it. If you don't like it, that's fine, but like, it's not the hype that sold these books. It might be more so now, but I even have a friend who, I think she was 17 when she read these books, and the first thing that she said to me was the hype was real. She loved them. There's a reason they're hyped. Just saying. The books themselves suck. Also false. The writing style is horrific. It's not. It's actually really funny and whimsical. The plots are flimsy and meandering. Clearly you've read the second shortest book. The characters are one-dimensional and simplistic. Again, that's just not true. They're very complex characters. There's a lot of them surrounding him that are really interesting and that you get just little pieces of in the first book because it is a series. There are more books that allow for more character development and more complexity, and this is a short book, but as you go on, they do develop more. Yeah, she goes on to talking about the saturated market. I mean, yeah, it's saturated with Harry Potter because it's very popular. I'm not gonna argue that point. It's like so frustrating when somebody just doesn't like a book because it's popular. Like, if that is the only reason you read the book is so that you can say you dislike this popular book, like, it's fine to read a popular book and not like it, but when people read a book with the intention of not liking the book just because it's popular, and that's their main argument, that's so bizarre to me. Also, it's nothing like 50 Shades of Grey. Did you even read 50 Shades of Grey? And then she says, now Twilight, on the other hand, that's a book I can bite into. I mean, come on. Like, what? Oh, this person rated it 1 star but said, this is my 3rd favorite book in the series. I really liked it. It makes me remember my childhood. This is by far better than the movie, obviously, and I'm gonna reread it soon. I think you made a mistake. I think you meant to give it more stars. This person said, after months and months of hype, I sat down and read this book. I went into it with some hesitation, mostly because I was tired of seeing fruitcakes in costumes. Is that a reference to something that I don't understand? This person said that they liked the movie but hated the books. That's bizarre. Nobody's ever said that. I mean, I guess there is some, but not for this. Oh, this person's referenced Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and Eeyore. I grew up with them. They were my people, just as much as Harry Potter. Oh, but he doesn't like Christopher Robin. I liked Christopher Robin. This person said that they don't like it because it appeals to fresh, squeaky-faced, young target audience. This person says that because they read The Chronicles of Narnia and The Hobbit first, they didn't like The Sorcerer's Stone. Okay. Found it utter garbage. DNF, I was bored to tears. This series did make me cry a lot, but not of boredom. Of many other things. It's definitely for kids, not adults, because it'll put you to sleep unless you haven't grown up. That's rude. Okay, let's talk about this. Middle grade books particularly have a lot of really good life lessons and a lot of good motives in them, typically, right? Not always, but typically. That's one of the reasons that they're written, is to reach this younger audience, to try to help guide them, right? That doesn't mean that just because you're older, you can't enjoy the book. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a certain level of maturity to enjoy it. That is something that bothers me, and I've actually heard people say before about, like, the Harry Potter series, was that Harry seemed too old. Like, he was 11 years old, but he was doing all this other stuff. Do not assume the incompetence of children, please. Children are very capable and intellectual and empathetic and just really good, genuine humans. Often, of course, without less experience and less information, but that doesn't mean that they're the only people that can enjoy a story like Harry Potter. That doesn't make any sense, and it's quite frankly insulting, not just to adults, but also to children. So no, unless you haven't grown up. Like, what do you mean by grown up? Because that was a pretty immature comment, and clearly you don't understand much about development. Are you implying that, like, you need to have a quote-unquote simpler mind or a less competent mind to read this book? Like, that's bananas, and if you have that opinion of children, then maybe you should read some more books. I can give you some recommendations if you would like. I can't. It drives me crazy. DNF this for the final time. Dun dun dun. Overrated. This series will be my biggest what if. What if I read it earlier? What if I had enjoyed them? Well, then you wouldn't have commented this. Not enough espionage and lack of heat. Harry is about as complex and interesting as a loaf of bread. What kind of bread? White bread? Wheat bread? Rye bread? Love rye bread. Is it artisan bread? Ciabatta. Yum. Shallow look at life at Hogwarts from the point of view of an orphan boy who lived in a cupboard. Yeah, that sounds right. This video was already going on forever. I'm sorry. This is why I didn't want to do everyone. This person, okay. See, this feels like an actual critical thought. Okay, so in this, they criticize the book a little bit for some stereotypes that are in it. I can see that critique, right? Like the abusive, incompetent, or foolish adult, which is probably why that guy didn't like it. Is it only that children are allowed to be seen as incompetent? I'm sorry, I'm bitter about that one. I am bitter when people come at children as being like less worthy. I don't know, it drives me crazy. Even Dumbledore, possibly the only positive portrayed authority figure, is described as eccentric. I mean, come on, Dumbledore. Oh, see this? Rowling doesn't bother to define good or evil. Yeah, you're right. She doesn't. That is like one of the biggest points in this series. She doesn't define good or evil. Even somebody who you see as good has done possibly evil things, or somebody that you see as evil has done really good things. That's one of the points of the story, is that, you know, it's all on this kind of spectrum of behavior, right? That we determined is good or bad or evil. Okay, they said that Voldemort just went bad, but I feel like he's got a complex history that you get in the other books, which is like, this is the first book in the series, I get it, but also like, come on. Okay, also when people rate it like 1 star, but they're like, oh, this book isn't that bad, I'm like, then why did you give it 1 star? Okay, this video was supposed to be like 10 minutes long and it's gone on forever, so hopefully I can edit that down. That was weird because I felt like most of the critiques that I got, first of all, they were always just paragraphs and paragraphs of people just complaining that other people like them. I didn't really see some of the typical critiques that I do, you know, like in Harry Potter, there are some stereotypes, right? There are some things that aren't great. There are some characters that kind of fall out or something like that. Like, that's usually what I will see when people critique it. Although one person said, one critique that I heard was that this woman wasn't going to read Harry Potter or J.K. Rowling anymore because she doesn't like when a series has characters that marry the first people that they've ever dated or ever liked. Did you read Harry Potter? Because that's not a fact for any of the characters. Maybe the second for some of them, but mostly not. And they're not all like in relationships and stuff. And we, like, what? I don't know. So that was like one, like sometimes I do hear critiques that I think are legitimate, but most of these were just people like kind of mad that it was hyped and they were like, oh, the writing sucked. And if you don't like the writing, that's valid. Okay, you don't like the writing, that's fine, but I am not gonna get over that man that's like, the only way you'll like this is if you haven't grown up. That's so rude. Please stop. Anyway, that was it. That was me reading the negative reviews of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I might do them for the rest of the books. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please comment down below. Let me know what you thought of Harry Potter. What are some of your actual critiques, like actual reasons that you don't like it, not just because it's hyped. I was hoping for like some conversation instead of just some weird, a little bit bitter reviews. Anyway, that will be all for this video. Please comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Like if you want and subscribe. I do have social media that will be linked down below. And I will of course link those wonderful ladies that I mentioned earlier. And I will see you very soon.